There we go.
Okay, hi guys, how's everything going? Welcome to the first episode of This Week in Rock. And in fact, I am going to be going back a couple of weeks. I had a couple of news segments that I did not get to. And here with me is the host of the Rob Rowe Show, Rob Rowe. Say hi, Rob.
Oh, not too much. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Hey, I'm happy Thanksgiving. I know that it was yesterday, but I hope everything went well with you and your family.
Yeah, we had a really good time. Despite things that are going on within the family. With COVID, but within our little family here in the house, we had a really good time. But we just keep praying and you know giving our best wishes to a lot of people that are dealing with it, and we have a couple family members that are dealing with it. But yeah, we really had a excellent time, a lot of food, a lot of
Yeah.
laughs, and but we just missed the ones that we couldn't be with.
And of course those are the ones that are usually there and they just weren't there this time, but hopefully everything gets back to normal soon for next Thanksgiving. It seems like this COVID thing's getting better day by day. Hopefully people are getting their immunizations more and more, and everything will get back to normal in 2022.
Let's hope so. Yeah, it would be a nice, it would be really nice to have that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just as long as people do their part, it can happen. So let's get on to the week in rock. A couple of things that really stood out to me was that there was a release of a new Tony Iommi song.
Mm-hmm.
It's an instrumental. It's called "A Scent of Dark," and it's an instrumental, and it's to advertise his new signature perfume, if you can believe it or not, with
Right.
the same name. It's called Scent of Dark, and you can hear the clip on YouTube. Or I got this news from Ultimate Classic Rock. You can also go there and hear the track. It's an instrumental. It's about 5 minutes long. And also in the interview, he talks about his up and coming um, work with Ozzy, because Ozzy's going to be releasing a new album beginning in early 2022, and there's a track there with Tony Iommi, who also plays and wrote the song as well. So that sounds interesting. What do you think about that, Rob?
It wasn't bad. It was interesting, but I am definitely interested to see what he does with Ozzy, because he totally said that he wrote a song for that new album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yeah,
and
I can't wait to hear what that sounds like.
yeah, and of course, coming off the success of "Ordinary Man," which was a fantastic album in my opinion by Ozzy. It ranks up there with one of his best. So let's see if he can keep the hot streak going, because they didn't stop working after that one. They kept rolling. That's what we're going to hear in 2022, and hopefully it's a big success.
True, true.
And also back in the middle of November, Genesis kicked off their tour for 2021. It's a short tour. It's going to take them to the end of the year, but they kicked off the North American leg in Chicago. And the reviews have been a little up and down. Phil Collins is a little bit hobbly right now. He's been on stage with a cane. The reviews that I read kind of said that he started off a little slow, but as the concert went on, he got better and stronger. His voice got better, and it's a mixture of the prog rock and pop rock, so it's a nice mix. I looked at the playlist on it. What do you think about that? About Genesis touring again? Kind of, you know, not up to health right now.
Um, in my opinion, it's really sad that Phil Collins is going through what he's going through,
Mhm.
because what an amazing drummer.
Yeah,
And that's what a lot of people don't re. If they don't know, that dude was the drummer of Genesis,
yeah,
and then he got thrown into being the vocalist of Genesis. And to see him in that bad of a shape, I know he had a lot of back problems, and or surgeries and whatnot. You know, like for me as a fan, I haven't heard the new album yet. I need to listen to it, later today. But years gone by, you know, it was Peter Gabriel as the vocalist, and Phil Collins was a drummer. And then once Peter left, he was thrown into that mix. Like, who's going to sing? He was like, well, screw it, I'll sing it.
Right.
And we know they've had great success with Phil.
Oh, yeah, a more success during the 70s. Of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
and there's some cheesy songs to throw in the mix, and some of them I love. To be honest with you, but honestly, yeah, it's really sad to see Phil going the way he is because for one, I always heard of him being an excellent person.
An excellent
And
front man, yeah.
yeah, and then being in a wheelchair or in a chair, on stage is not. That would make me sad to go see that show. I don't
It's
know about you.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see from him. You want to see him behind the drum kit or being the front man, going up and down the stage and singing the songs. But one great thing, no, another great thing about Genesis is that they did find success on both spectrums as a prog rock and pop rock. A lot of people debate on which one's better. Hey, I like both. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't ignore one part because you're missing out on the other part. So
Yeah,
if
I mean,
I would definitely go.
I mean, completely. I grew up on both. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it, those '80s Genesis to me is nostalgic. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's what you grew up on.
Yeah.
Like my parents would blast Genesis all the time. I had no idea what they were prior. I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to grow up, and then when I went back, I remember I had a friend and was like, "You like Genesis?" And I remember I was getting kind of cocky with my music at that time. I'm like,
Yeah. Sometimes
"Oh,
we do.
yeah," I'm like, "Oh yeah, screw Genesis," and they're like, "No, check out the early material." And then when you did, you were blown away. You couldn't believe what they were doing.
And also a bit of news on Journey. They're going to be hitting the road in February 22. They're going to have the first half. Billy Idol is going to be opening up for them, which I think is
Hmm.
interesting.
And Toto, and Toto.
Yeah, and Toto's doing the second leg. But unfortunately, it's weird. This tour, it's not going to last that long. It's only going to be from February to March. I don't know if they're going to add more dates because when Journey was touring either with Perry or with the current singer, they did a lot of summer tours, and that
Hmm.
that was great. So I don't know. There's no word about them touring during the summer, but it's good to know that they're gonna be hitting the road, and hopefully a lot more bands will be hitting the road as well. And also another band that said farewell in the middle of November was the Monkees. Played their last show. It's just Mike Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz, and they said goodbye at the Greek in Los Angeles. And I don't know about you, but I'm a big Mickey fan, and a big Monkees fan, and my favorites were always Mickey Dolenz and Mike Nesmith. And me and a buddy were going to go see them, and then COVID came and they canceled, and it was just the beginning of COVID, so we weren't too sure, if they were going to be able to play a month later. But of course, COVID is still around, and it's been over a year and a half, I believe, since. So I never got to see them. They said goodbye, and I don't know about you, but I was a big Monkees fan, and I still am. I try to collect as much Monkees music as I can. What about you? Did you ever get into the Monkees?
I did. I was a big fan of the show, actually,
Yeah.
and I grew up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
my parents were always, jamming the Monkees, or, Grateful Dead, or, I mean, and then I remember watching a show religiously when you could back in those days, when they would like do a marathon, which was back in the day, having a marathon on a
Was a big
regular,
deal.
yeah, on a regular
Yeah.
TV station. This is before cable, people.
Yeah, I think. Oh well, I think this was on cable. I think this was on Nick at Night back in the mid to late '80s.
Yeah,
It was on Nick at Night.
mine was on Fox. This is
Oh, okay.
before Fox became like this big thing.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, Fox was kind of like a throwback station.
Oh,
One of
okay.
those, almost like a PBS station, but it was on your regular, what is it? God, man, I'm so old, I can't remember. Was it
Oh,
UHF? When you had to flip the dials,
yeah, yeah.
and you get that on a Saturday. And I remember my dad would be like, "Okay, let's rock out to the Monkees." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it."
And that
So
show
that
was
was
so
like,
good.
yeah, that was like a big deal growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, we're the Monkees, and and it was just a fun time. It was a fun show. It made you feel good. At
Yeah,
least for me, it made me feel good, because I remember being a kid, just like, yeah, this is good times.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you
I'm like, is this what adult life is going to feel like? Of course it doesn't, but
right. Well, you get to live with all your best friends and play songs all day long.
right. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and girls chase
unfortunately,
you everywhere you
yeah,
went.
yeah,
That's the way life's
unfortunately, it
supposed to be
doesn't
lived
work
every
that
day.
way.
No, it doesn't look that way at all. Work's not as fun as they made it look like.
Right. But that's what the Goodfield shows back in the day were like,
Yeah.
because I think they were giving you that perspective of, okay, you've had a hard day, maybe you had a hard week. We're going to give you some entertainment, and it made you feel like you were part of it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it really does. Especially with TV now, there's so much reality shows, and we watch TV to get out of reality, to see a little bit of fantasy, to see something made up or something different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and in fact, I watch a lot of old shows still. I
Oh, I
just
do.
do.
I do
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And also a couple weeks ago, probably in the middle of November, they released the lineup. Well, not the lineup, but just the four um, big bands, the closers for Rockville 2022 in Daytona, Florida. And I'm pretty sure y'all have heard, but it's going to be Kiss, Korn, Guns N' Roses, and the Foo Fighters. Each of them closing out each day, which will be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that was big news to hear those big bands, and when there's big bands like that, they still haven't released who's playing on those days under them. But big bands like that, it tends to really be good bands that follow through. So I'm pretty excited to hear and find out who the rest of the bands are going to be. And what do you think about those big four playing on Rockville 2022?
As much as I'm a big Kiss fan, Kiss, I really hope really soon, you know, I really hope they like shut it
Color?
down. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they shut it down soon. And some people are going to agree with me, some people are not. I really don't care if you do, but I think it's time for them to just bow out and go. We done it all.
Yeah, and
Because if it wasn't for COVID, they would have been done already. They were
well,
supposed to be done.
right.
I would rather see them enjoy time with their family, and just enjoy retirement. I
Well,
mean,
this
these
might.
guys, they don't need the money. I mean,
Well, of course not.
but I understand the same point of doing something you love. I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm also into that mind frame. If I'm done, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Just let it go. I mean, Foo Fighters might be a fun show. Corn, that's going to be a really good show. Guns N' Roses, let's hope Axel doesn't freak out. We never know.
Yeah. Well, I've never
You
seen.
never know with Axel.
Well, I've never seen Kiss, so I'm being selfish with this, and I hope that they keep going because I would like to see them. So I'm excited about that. I've never seen Korn. I was supposed to see them back in 1997 with Tool, during a Lollapalooza, and in the last minute, someone got sick or something happened. They weren't able to make it, so it was kind of a bummer. Foo Fighters, I've seen a couple of times, and they're fantastic live. But but I've never seen them as the headliner. I've always seen them as an opener. I saw them when they opened up for Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then when they opened up for Weezer. So this would be nice to see them be the headliner. I've never seen that before. And in 2017, I was able to see Guns N' Roses, and they put on just the most fantastic show. They were great. So
Well, that's
I'm cool
really
about that.
cool that you get to see those guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised you've never seen Kiss.
No, I've never seen Kiss. They've come around. Like I told you during your Ace Frehley show, I've just become a Kiss fan recently, so I've never had that chance to see them.
Okay, so I'll give you that credit. You need to go see them once at least.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's getting, as a Kiss fan, somebody
yeah,
that grew up loving Kiss, it's getting, like they're calling it the end of the road. It's the end of the road.
yeah.
It
And last
really is.
and last but not least, for you people out there that have Disney Plus, the Beatles Let It. I'm sorry, it's not called Let It Be, but they're recording the Let It Be album, but it's called Get Back.
Yeah.
And it's done by Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings fame, and it's a three-parter. Each part is 2 hours long. They released part one yesterday, and I haven't made it all the way through. I've only done the first 30 minutes because, I was trying to watch it Thanksgiving morning, but you know how Thanksgiving morning is. You need to start cooking, start getting ready, start doing this and start doing that. So I had to stop. But a couple points that I got from from the first 30 minutes was the songs that they were rehearsing, which was one of them was geez, it just slipped my mind and I can't believe it. But one of them was, of course, "Don't Let Me Down," which did come out on "Let It Be Naked." But the way that John Lennon was really pushing for that song to be on the final product of "Let It Be," and it didn't make it. And also when they were rehearsing George Harrison's "All Things Must Pass," that might have been on "Let It Be. And I'm just thinking, how good "Let It Be" could have been if they had finished through, because we know that they kind of walked away from it and left it to Phil Spector, and Phil Spector kind of finished it on his own with with lots and lots of tape. So the first 30 minutes I found interesting of what could have been Let It Be. So, I'm a big Let It Be fan. I'm a big Beatle fan. They're my favorite band of all time. So it's interesting to see that. And also for you people that have Hulu, there was an interesting show on there with Paul McCartney and Rick Rubin. It was 6 episodes, and they were talking about the Beatles music, and it was really cool to see Rick Rubin just be a fanboy of Paul, and the way that they would manipulate the tapes, and how they produced it back in the 60s. And Paul takes Rick Rubin pretty much on step by step of big Beatles songs and Beatle deep tracks. So check that out as well. So
Yeah.
anything to add before we go?
Well, no, I haven't heard that or I mean heard that. I haven't watched that you know documentary just yet. I want them all to come out because I'm one of those guys that has to binge it. You know what I
Right.
mean? I have to. And
I
yeah,
could wait.
by the way, we're getting hit with I haven't had this happen yet, but we had a Facebook user say hello or hey fellas, and they're gonna have to like other podcasts I've seen, they're gonna have to like log in and on like a StreamYard,
Yeah.
Facebook thing, and have to put their name in there and everything, which I think is really stupid.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of odd because my wife was telling me about that, about how she was trying to want to comment, but then how they asked for all this information to sign on or log on. So we'll try to figure something else like that for our fans of the show who want to comment and tell us more, and so that your names can come out, so that we can thank y'all for joining us.
Yeah, exactly. Not just because you're a Facebook user,
Yeah, exactly. We need to know who it is.
I have not had that problem yet until right now, but I've noticed other podcasts that I watch are
Mhm.
having that problem. And by the way, are you going to join the Scorpions?
Tonight at 5. It all depends if I'm home because we're gonna run around and do some Black Friday stuff.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I will try my best to get on it.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome. But Andy, love you,
Yes.
buddy.
Hey, love you too. Thank you so much for joining me on this the first episode of This Week in Rock. I plan on doing this weekly, so let's hope all goes well.
Absolutely. And
All right.
everybody else that watches it now or later, thanks for joining us. We're going to have a really kick ass shows coming up this next week. On Monday, we're going to have Ray Kuhn from Dawn of the Rising, the band. They're from Arizona. Check them out. Awesome rock metal band. We're also going to have El Horta from, what's it? Be Cool or Be Cast Out podcast.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday, we're going to have Joshua Toomey from the Talk to Me podcast and his Throwback Thursday, podcast on, on Knotfest. Yes, the Knotfest on Twitch. So check get ready to check these shows out. They're going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to talk Pantera with Toomey. And, on Monday, we're going to talk Guilty Pleasures. We're going to talk about songs that we're not supposed to like,
But we do.
but we do like. And so, this next week's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, of course, Andy is my co-host, and
Yes.
he's a brilliant guy. I love him. And this was a lot of
Hello, I'm sorry, did you freeze there? Yeah, this was a lot of fun, especially for a little impromptu show. We're just trying to feel things out. This is going to be new for us. Well, new for me. Rob has been doing this for quite some time now. So,
only a year, buddy. Only a year.
hey, you've been doing it longer than me. So, we are happy that y'all are joining us because we're going to be around a lot. I too am going to have my own podcast starting in 2022 here on Blackspinner Circle. Panelists will be different members of Blackspinner Circle that I've already reached out to. They've already agreed. So
nice.
This month in December, I am going to be figuring out some more of how this podcast thing works, and also getting different guests on for different shows with different topics. So, we got a lot on our plate, and we're doing all this to share our love of rock music and all kinds of music with everyone that comes to watch us. So this is a lot of fun that we're going to be doing.
Hell yeah, man! This was a lot of fun. We were just doing a little, like we said, a little test, but
yeah,
this was
the little test turned into a very good episode. Right?
Yeah. All right, Andy. Well,
all right. I will probably see you later on today if I can.
All right, brother.
All right, bye everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us, and thanks a lot for watching us. And go out there and hear that new. Oh, almost forgot. Deep Purple came out with a covers album today, and I've heard a couple of tracks already. I know that they're covers, but man, they sure do sound like Deep Purple tracks. They sound great. Ian Pace on drums, 70 something. He sounds amazing on this album. And he's still trekking. You know, he's the longest tenured Deep Purple member, and he's been there since the very beginning in 1968. And it's 2022.
I know, it's a long time.
Yeah, the guy is still at it, and he sounded amazing on his drumming on this album. Go check it out.
The guy's been around 8 years before I was even alive. I mean, you got to give that credit.
Yeah, the dude's still at it. He sounds great. So be sure to check that out, and we'll talk to y'all later, guys. Y'all take care.
See you guys.
Bye.